My name is Katherine Tucker, and I'm one of the senior nutrition consultants with an Office of Nutrition Health Promotion Programs, and I'll be your moderator for today. I want to start off with some housekeeping information. Closed captioning is available to attendees of this webinar. To turn on the captions, please see the CC Live transcription button in the toolbar at the bottom of the screen and set it to enable closed captioning. If you have any questions during this event, feel free to type them into the Q&A. We'll open up a time for questions after our guest speaker, and then we'll open up Q&A again at the end of the webinar. Make sure your questions are in the Q&A section to ensure we don't miss it. We'll be using the chat feature a couple of times, and if you put your questions in the chat, I'm afraid they'll get lost. The webinar is being recorded, and the recording and the PowerPoints will be shared, and they'll be posted on the celebration webpage after the event. You can find the celebration webpage at acl.gov/SNP/celebrate, and that link will be posted in the chat. So let's get this party cooking. Every March, we celebrate the Senior Nutrition Program and all the accomplishments of the national and local agencies. Not just today, but every day, our job is to promote how the nutrition services help older adults stay independent as they age and highlight critical senior nutrition issues. As you may be aware, this year's theme is Cooking Up Community, and you can see it right here over my shoulder. Our speakers will be getting a little deeper into how the theme really highlights the important aspects of the senior nutrition program, as well as how it addresses the current changing landscapes of the program. We have an exceptional line of speakers for you today. We have ACL's Deputy Assistant Secretary for Aging, who will open up our presentation today with a wonderful introduction to this celebration. We have an opportunity to hear from an area agency on aging in Kentucky to see examples of how the senior nutrition program can cook up community and meet our participants where they are, showing how the senior nutrition program has proven time and time again that it's not a one-size-fits-all program. I can't wait for you to hear her inspiring presentation. I think you're going to love it. And we will open up a time for questions for our guest speaker. Then we will hear our call to action from the Director of the Office of Nutrition Health Promotion Programs. I will share some key resources available to you to help you continue to celebrate and to fill the needs in your program. And then we will end the webinar with a quick time for questions. So do feel free to put your questions in the Q&A section, and we will make sure that we get to them. So let's get started. I am honored to introduce Edwin Walker, the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Aging at the Administration for Community Living. We are thrilled for him to provide the openings for this year's Senior Nutrition Program celebration. Edwin, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Catherine, and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today, we've come together to celebrate another year, but a really significant one in the life of the Older Americans Act Senior Nutrition Program. Can you really believe it's been 51 years? And as you've seen and heard, the theme of our anniversary celebration is Cooking Up Community, which highlights how one of the senior nutrition program's most prominent elements, which is food, how it's so closely connected to the community. This theme primarily focuses on how our programs are far more than just a meal. Through the national program, we serve, build, and improve communities through meals, social connections, educational program, and so much more. And I'm sure you've heard me say before that the Senior Nutrition Program began as a set of innovative demonstration projects, and then they proved themselves to be of tremendous value to people in the community. This is really what paved the way to create the permanent program we have now in every community across the country. And those programs that you operate continue to support older Americans each and every day. That's why we're excited to feature today's speaker, Stacy Noble. It's through innovation that we can change, we can adapt, and we can address challenges. And Stacy's innovative program has done just that. It addresses new ways to tackle issues like food insecurity, hunger, and malnutrition, which are core to the mission and the purposes of this program in the Older Americans Act. And while we all say that not only has the senior nutrition program been proven to reduce malnutrition and improve nutrition and health, we know our program is combating social isolation and impacting overall health and well-being. And studies are showing that people who are engaged in the senior nutrition programs are healthier and happier. So today, as you listen to Stacy's presentation, I encourage you to think of how you can innovate to solve or address the local challenges of your communities and to make a direct impact. One of the great things about the Older Americans Act is that it recognizes and it encourages innovation. The flexibilities in the Act truly allow you to meet the needs of your community in a variety of ways that are specific to the people and the issues in your local area. So while Stacy's innovation mostly tackles food insecurity, you may want to tackle or address an innovative model that addresses social isolation or addresses barriers to access or some other specific need in your community. And your ability to think big, to dream, to leverage resources, and to collaborate with others will continue to always strengthen our programs and better meet the needs of people in your communities. Today, we are looking forward to celebrating not just another year of the program, but the significant work that each of you does every day to support older adults in your communities. So again, thank you for your continued hard work and dedication, and I look forward to seeing how our senior nutrition program will evolve in the years to come. I'll now turn the presentation back over to Catherine Tucker to conduct a quick poll before our next speaker. Catherine?
Thank you, Edwin, for those wonderful remarks, and what a great way to introduce the celebration. Now, let's see who all has celebrated the Senior Nutrition Program this month. So we'll have a poll to pop up. And if you've celebrated, just put in there yes, no, you plan to celebrate, or you're undecided. And let's see where we're at. So as a reminder, March 22nd is the actual day the Senior Nutrition Program was enacted. So we are celebrating on the day. And as you can see on the poll, we have numerous that is saying yes, and we're at the end of the month or toward the end of the month. So I'm sure there's been plenty of celebration that's already happened this month. And it's great to see. It looks like we have about 41% yes, we have 28% no. We have about 20% that plan to celebrate and another 12 that's undecided. So I think we're still getting a few in, but it looks like that's slowed down quite a bit. Thank you for answering. So it's great to see so much, and we're going to share that. Okay. So it's really great to see so much already happening for our program. And if you've not already celebrated yet, just know it's not too late. Celebrating the Senior Nutrition Program is not just for the month of March. The wonderful thing about this program is you have the opportunity to celebrate the Senior Nutrition Program each and every day all year long. I mean, look at the celebrations that's already happened this month. We had several that said they've already celebrated. So it's great to see so much already happening. So let's keep that momentum going. And as you celebrate, post information on social media and remember to use the hashtag Senior Nutrition Program. And I want to give a shout out to a state that shared the ways they celebrated. So New Mexico's Aging and Long-Term Service Departments collaborated with the state of New Mexico's Executive Office to provide a proclamation for March to be Senior Nutrition Service Month. So with that being said, I want to take a moment and allow those who have celebrated to put into the chat just a real quick remark of how they celebrated. We have on our celebration page tips and ideas on how to celebrate. So we hope to get some new ones that we can add for next year. So if you want to open up the chat and just put in some of the ways that you all have celebrated. So we had one that hosted the first nutrition program conference in Idaho, and that'll be on March 27th and 28th. and they have great speakers on board for that. That sounds fun and exciting, and it's your first one. So just imagine how that's going to grow as well. Anybody else want to put in the chat? They had a ribbon cutting, and they invited their mayor. Of course, we have a lot of March for Meals with local officials, which is always wonderful. But they celebrated countywide and citywide with a proclamation. And many centers are choosing scheduled special events. So there's a lot of different ways. We have the restaurant meals for food insecure seniors. So they are offering new programs and new services. And that's a good way to celebrate. So just continue to put those in the chat. Thank you for those. It's really exciting to see new things happen and new ideas. And I hope to share these, and we hope to share these on the website for next year. So that way, any new ideas, we can have that out for others. So let me go ahead and start transitioning to our next portion of this event. And I would like to shift it to our next speaker. So I want to introduce, with all the real life examples that we have on how to cook up community, cooking up community can be effective, and it can be effective for your programs, for our communities, and for the people we serve. And though we celebrate today, we can't ignore what a difficult time it is out there. Food insecurity, which was already a challenge before the pandemic, persists, and it grows as an everyday problem. And now older adults are facing changes in their benefits, and we all know that we must work together to address this issue. But it takes time, and often we don't feel like we have that time to give. And I don't say that to be negative, but it's important that we acknowledge the state of things. That's why it's at every opportunity that we have, we'll focus on the issues. Today, we invited a speaker recognized for her success in tackling food insecurity through partnerships and innovative programming. Stacy Noble is the Associate Director of Aging Services at the Kentucky River Area Development District, which oversees the Area Agency on Aging in a rural Appalachian part of Kentucky. She is going to share what has worked in Kentucky and how they're meeting older adults where they are using flexible service delivery models, building partnerships to fill gaps, and thinking creatively to solve challenges outside of their control. And we hope that you'll be inspired by new ideas today. Now, I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with Stacy, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome her to today's event. So with that, Stacy, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I have your slides, so I'll advance those for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. I'm so thrilled to get to present today in honor of the Senior Nutrition Program celebration. Food insecurity may be an issue in your community, or it could be a lack in participation in your senior nutrition program. We know how important the senior nutrition program is. We all know that one meal, although important, will not solve all the problems our older population face. How would you feel if you only had one meal a day? And we must connect the dots not only to our program, but also to other resources available. That is why we took the steps that I will talk about today, not to improve just the senior nutrition program, but to enhance the entire community to ensure the needs of our older population have been met. We must move forward this mission to serve our older adults by fostering a community for participants. We know that socialization is just as important as healthy food. So thinking outside the box to find new and creative ways to offer services to seniors is what we must do. This allows us to serve the new generation of older adults coming into our programs, and we all know that's hard. My passion has always been serving the older adults in our region, and that doesn't just mean managing a program. It means paying attention to the needs, listening to our population, and adjusting the services to meet those needs, and all the ingredients to cooking up a community. And I want to start by giving you a quick background about our area agency on aging. The Kentucky River Area Development District, or Area Agency on Aging, we manage one of the 15 area agencies on aging in Kentucky. Our mission is to improve the quality of life for the citizens in our region. The counties that we serve include 8 counties in Appalachia, southeastern Kentucky. And like many of you, our agency provides numerous services within the Older Americans Act, including everything from Aging and Disabilities Resource Center to the Senior Nutrition Program, including congregate and home delivered meals, and much more. And our need. With our need, we knew that food insecurity was prevalent in our area. We knew this because senior center staff who speak to the elderly one-on-one continued to hear that the elderly had difficulty getting access to food. We also looked at food insecurity data that revealed in some of our counties, the percent of the population that were food insecure was around 20 to 25%. We also noticed that participation in the congregate program was declining, and that older adults were not taking advantage of assistance like SNAP, the Commodity Supplemental Food Program, and the Seniors Farmers Market Program. And so due to this, we sought out our state unit on aging in Kentucky to find ways to coordinate the need in our area. This is where we got the idea to incorporate a senior hunger council in our region. And we needed collaboration with our region to truly make an impact. And we were the first area development district, area agency on aging in our state to start a hunger council. And so our top needs that we found that they included that we needed to coordinate consistent regional efforts in order to have a greater impact so we could serve the 60 and older population with the food resources that they needed. We needed to assist older adults who had been unable to receive commodities due to not having the transportation to pick it up. That was a biggie for us. We needed to increase the ability to identify and assist the underserved 60-year and older population. In order to begin our Hunger Council, we reached out to the community partners in our area and we met via Zoom. Attendance seemed to be better when we would meet virtually, and so we started meeting monthly to identify needs and ways to fill those needs of our older adults in our area. It was important for us to provide education to the community on the nutrition resources available so those who were in need could access those resources in our region. What were our goals? Our goals were we observed that there was a consistent need of resources. Our council was able to identify local area needs for more resources to address local hunger within the senior nutrition program. With much planned collaboration and partnering, our goals were to increase awareness of the senior meals programs, food banks, and other resources in our area. To increase access to food resources for all seniors in the region to help combat hunger. Also to provide education to community professionals and others through resources and the regional hunger conference held in the fall each year in our area. You may observe different needs in your area. Knowing what your particular needs are in your region is the best place to start identifying steps to take to improve those needs. No matter what steps you take, collaboration is extremely important. And collaboration does matter. This is where we really ramped up cooking up a community. We knew we could not accomplish our goals alone. Were the seniors in need taking advantage of our program? Were there other issues causing them to miss out on the available resources, which transportation was a big one for us? We collaborate with individuals from all 8 counties that CRAD serves to achieve our mission. Our area development district staff, we have helped, my staff has helped to coordinate efforts and identify clients in need of assistance. With our other partners, those included The senior citizen center directors in our region, all of them have been a big part of the efforts to increase access to food for older adults in unique ways, as well as having one-on-one with the older adults in the community to identify their needs. They are the boots on the ground for us, those senior directors. Local food banks help us to bring access to food. Churches have helped so much by being available. When we do not have food boxes available for someone who needs one, the churches have been instrumental at providing those boxes when we needed them. We have had some elderly that are very close to their 60th birthday that we really were not able to serve yet, but due to the help of some of our area churches, we have really been able to help with a food box through the church until the individual does turn 60. We had one of those most recently. And volunteers are limited for us, but many of our office staff have helped fill this role since we have limited volunteers at this point. And also local public officials have helped us by getting the word out in our community, and our area agency on aging staff does report out to our local officials each month to keep them aware of what we have accomplished and what our goals are for the next upcoming month. And local restaurants and food trucks, as well as the farmers markets in our area, have helped us to offer unique ways to serve our elderly population with food, and to even find new elderly participants that we've not been able to serve before. Each of our partners have played a key role in helping not only to combat food insecurity, but to improve the community for our older adults. And that's always been our main goal, is to improve the community and the services to our older adults. With our Kentucky River Regional Hunger Council, something that we're very proud of, the Kentucky River Hunger Council, we meet monthly to discuss activities in each county served, their achievement of the previous month goals, and to set new goals. Our council works to come up with out-of-the-box type of ideas on how to better serve our senior population with food. Usually we go around the table or around the Zoom screen, and each county reports out, okay, this is what I achieved this past month, and this is what I want to get done next month, and we work to find ways collectively as a group to figure out how we can achieve those goals. And some other things that we do is we do coordinate drive-up food box deliveries at the senior centers and senior housing facilities. We've been able to get set up to be a distributor of food boxes through the Commodity Supplemental Food Program, or CSFP, in the state of Kentucky. We have provided information on how to access food boxes to our older population. We have identified seniors who need assistance with transportation to receive commodity boxes, and we've evaluated ways to get information on food resources out to seniors in underserved communities. We've planned and hosted the Regional Hunger Conference in our region to educate the community on resources that are available to them in our region. And also, we have identified that more needed to be done in outreach with the Congregate Meal Program, with SNAP, and the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program in our area with our seniors. And outreach. Cooking Up Community is not just about working with other organizations. Your community is also the people within it. We knew that there were older adults out there who would not benefit, who would benefit from the Older American Act services, but they were not showing up. So being consistent with outreach was important to engage those who may not have been aware of the program or who had not accessed the services. Our agency has developed a flyer, and we've distributed it to all local senior housing sites to educate the community on the food resources available. All senior centers in the Kentucky River area posted the flyer that we developed on their social media sites. They also posted it on our CRAD Facebook site as well, our social media site. We have also used public service announcements on local radio stations to get the word out on available food resources and how to access them. On the next slide, you will see the flyer that we created. It is just very simple and to the point. The flyer was beneficial to have to offer older adults one number to call to find resources in their county instead of having to call around numerous places to find help. And collaboration outcomes. So we've already discussed how many ingredients of cooking up a community that we have looked at, and identifying need and collaboration with partners and reaching the community that may not be aware. But one thing left is improving the outcomes of older adults that we serve. And cooking up a community is not just about finding the need, but to ensure we find ways to make improvements. And so we identified sites with a large senior population who were not coming to the senior center to obtain meals. And as a result of our collaborations and identification of needed sites, the region started offering pop-up sites for meals, 1 day a week in 2 locations, to help pique interest of the older adults. And so that went over very well. We were able to serve 30 additional seniors at the Letcher County pop-up site and 20 additional seniors at our second site in Wolfe County. And we do hope to expand the pop-up site initiative soon into our other counties. It seems to have went over very well. But because of our continued partnerships and good communication, our partners were instrumental to help us reach our goals and new needs as they came about. For example, one of our senior centers was destroyed during the flooding back in July of 2022. And due to previous partnerships with a food truck, we reached out to another local food truck in that particular county where the flooding occurred, and we were able to partner with them and get a menu approved by our State Union on Aging in Kentucky in order to keep our meals going on for older adults in that county. Our State Union on Aging in Kentucky has been a true support to us in our efforts and has been very responsive to us with providing assistance and approvals quickly so we can respond to the needs of our older adults. And food boxes. We collaborated with other agencies to identify seniors who could not access commodities due to not having any transportation. Senior center directors in our region spoke with clients and residents of senior housing to identify those seniors who needed commodities but had no transportation to pick them up. Senior center staff found creative ways to get commodities out to these clients. For example, going to the commodity distributor and arranging to get the boxes on behalf of the client. We delivered boxes out to seniors who needed the service, as well as handed the boxes out during drive-up meal delivery at the senior citizen centers. We also identified older adults who were not accessing SNAP benefits. So we gave flyers out to those seniors who were having difficulty with SNAP applications. The flyers included contact information so they could receive help with the application process. And our regional nutrition resource directory. Continuing on this outreach, our Hunger Council developed a regional nutrition resource directory, which contained available food resources and contacts for all counties that we serve. This essentially was like having a recipe book of the community we have cooked up over this process. The directory was distributed by our senior centers and our home care case managers to senior housing facilities and others who call needing assistance, such as other agencies in the region who have case managers that may need the directory to assist their clients. Also, we posted the resource directory on our CRAD Facebook site as well. And then something that I get most excited about is our senior farmers market meals. And the exciting part about cooking up a community is getting to meet the people where they are. And we knew there were older adults attending the senior farmers market, so we found a way to collaborate. And the way we got started with this project was we set up an agreement with the local farmers market and a local vendor. The senior center staff got seniors signed up and remind the participants of meals each week. They also handle the sign-in sheets. Our senior farmers market meals, the very first one we started, began in June of 2022 in Letcher County. It is our county that actually touches the border of Virginia. And meals were served each Thursday night and Saturday mornings. We increased the number of seniors served in Letcher County by 30 new seniors. They really liked the different time than just the lunchtime to come in and access meals and do activities. We issued voucher cards to the seniors monthly so we would know that they were approved for a meal. And menus were approved by the dietitian from the Department for Aging and Independent Living in the state of Kentucky, or our state unit on aging in Kentucky. We work closely with our dietitian. We did partner with a local vendor, and in Letcher County, it was Cane's Kitchen, to produce our meals. And collaborating agencies helped in advertising the project and encouraged the participation through their social media channels. They helped us reach new people that we had never reached before. And we have recently changed our meals in Letcher County to offer Thursday night meals and activities such as education, information. They play bingo, they do a lot of recreation, and seniors seem to love the new time for coming in to get meals and do activities. And I will say that our senior director, she almost has to run them off on Thursday nights. They love it. And also wanted to talk about our senior farmers market meals in two of our other counties that came about. And due to beginning the senior meals in Letcher County, we also decided to offer the same type of service in other counties. And we were able to set up agreements with food vendors and find a site that could work for these additional counties. And the experience we had in Letcher made adding these sites a bit easier. Our senior farmers market meals began in July of 2022 in Lee and Breathitt counties, and meals were served on Saturdays and Wednesday nights at the farmers market. We increased the number of seniors served in Lee and in Breathitt by 40 new seniors in each county, which was we were so excited about. And especially in Breathitt, because a lot of our seniors had passed away during COVID. And so we really were needing something to bring us back. And this seemed to bring us back. And voucher cards were issued monthly to seniors in those counties. Menus were approved by our state unit on aging in Kentucky. And we were able to count these meals as congregate meals since they were consuming the meal and participating in activities. And I don't know, you can probably tell I'm very excited about those projects. We have really loved those. Our agency partners with a local diner in Lee County, one of the two counties that we added in July, to produce the meals. And in Breathitt, the partnership is with a local food truck, which was very exciting for us because it was our first time to work with a food truck ever. And so, and as I spoke about earlier, it was our way to learn the partnership with food trucks, and it kind of helped us during the flood to have that experience. And so again, the food truck helped to bring awareness to our senior nutrition program in that community, and helped us to find a new crowd of older adults that we had never served before. So we were, again, so excited about that. And collaborating agencies helped to advertise the project and encourage participation through their social media channels. And recently we have changed our meals in Lee and Breathitt County to Thursday night meals, and seniors get a chance, they get a meal and they do the activities and they love it. And I will say it's a different crowd. We have some seniors who don't like coming during the middle of the day for lunch, but they like getting out for Thursday night meals. They enjoy it. And so, the exciting thing is for us, like I say, we see that different group of people attending, which is what we wanted. That's what we wanted. And in conclusion, we could not have accomplished any of the things that I have talked about today without cooking up a community of partners. The partnerships have allowed us to serve and will continue to serve as a community of senior nutrition programs, and relying on each other to share promising practices, innovative approaches, challenges, and solutions is what started our journey, and we want it to continue to maybe start yours. And I encourage you to reach out to me to talk more about building coalitions, collaboration, and cooking up your community. And I want to just thank you so much for allowing me to be on the call today.
Thank you, Stacy. And what an inspiration it is to hear from one of our many agencies who are cooking up a community by meeting participants where they are to ensure they're receiving the services that they need. That presentation gives me so much excitement for the program, and just look what can be accomplished. This is why I love the Senior Nutrition Program. It's not a cookie cutter program. You can go to any community and the program will look slightly different because the communities are different. Stacy manages 8 counties, but each county had different needs. And the way they cooked up a community was by tackling those needs as they were identified, and they look different across the region. Thank you, Stacy, for sharing today, and thank you for your continued dedication. And I want to give a few minutes for questions for Stacy before we move on to the next segment. So Stacy, you can turn on your camera because I'm pretty sure you're probably going to get some questions. So let's open up a quick moment for questions. I'm very excited. We have Judy Simon as our Q&A person today. She's our national nutritionist, and I'm glad that she was able to help out today. And so we will hopefully get some questions for Stacy.
Oh, we sure do. What a great presentation. Thanks for sharing, Stacy. One participant asked about Cane's Kitchen and wondering whether they were already working with the nutrition program previously, or was this relationship new for this particular project?
For us, it was somewhat of a new partnership. We had actually started, they had actually started preparing our meals for us for the regular lunchtime meals. And so it was a great way to add on something else. And that group at Cane's Kitchen is very innovative, and they come up with a lot of new and creative ideas as well. And so it was somewhat new. It was just a new spin on our partnership.
Great, super. We did get a couple of requests to put up Stacy's information again and information on your social media handles. So when you go off screen, feel free to add that, or others can put it in the chat. A question came in about what is the price per meal for the Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday meals?
So the price per meal depends on the vendor. We work closely with our state unit on aging. We have tried not to go over $7.50 a meal. We work with the local vendor to come up with a menu that's going to hit that. And so, Amanda, our dietitian in the state of Kentucky, we have worked closely with on this, coming up with menus and working back and forth with the vendor to hit a price that we can afford. And usually we've stuck within the $7.50 range.
Wonderful. You're getting a lot of positive feedbacks, just folks really impressed with how you've really catered your program to meet the needs of each of your communities. Here's a question about how difficult is it to get menus approved, and is that a requirement for you to do?
With doing these meals and being able to count them, as far as probably a lot of you all call it as units, we have to have the menu be approved by our state unit on aging, and it has not been difficult. Our dietitian in the state of Kentucky is wonderful to work with. She is, I've got her on my cell phone. We talk and we get these arrangements made, and she's wonderful. She comes up with ideas herself, so it's not been difficult. You just have to have good communication.
You mentioned that there's a single number that folks can call if they're looking for resources. Can you tell us anything more about how that's staffed? Who answers those phone lines? Kind of what's the infrastructure under that process?
Okay, so the flyer that we did actually has our senior center's phone number on there, so that individuals in their county, if they want to talk about meals or services directly in their county, they can call that senior center. But we also have the ADRC line. That's an 800 number here at our agency, that we have 2 staff members who take those calls and do screenings on folks, and then they send me the referrals, and I send it on to the senior centers, and then they reach out if they get us here.
Super. You really created something, quite ambitious in your Hunger Coalition. And we have been getting questions about, what's involved in setting up a Hunger Coalition. And, tell us a little bit more about why you started it. You mentioned food insecurity, but any more that you can share about starting up a Hunger Coalition would be really helpful.
I'll tell you our main reason, and it is because I was so hurt when I found out that we had a client who got cut off her commodities because she had no transportation. And so that is the driving force for me behind all of this, because I do not want to see a senior with no food. And I don't mean to get emotional, but that's where my heart is.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have a couple other questions, folks wanting to know details, and with you in their hearts. I know we all are. Thank you.
And I will say, starting a hunger council is
Yeah.
really not hard. It's simply getting your partners together, deciding who your key partners are, and keeping consistent and keeping organized with your meetings, having them at a set time each month, reminding people. I usually remind everybody like a week out, the day of, and having that agenda set, and again, staying consistent so that people can know what's expected of them.
Great. We have another question is, do you require payment for the evening and breakfast meals, or are they donation based?
No, the seniors do not pay.
I think those are our main questions coming in.
And
Stacy,
that's
thank you so
right at
much.
time. That is right at time. I was looking at the clock and I'm like, I'm going to have to cut them off. But if there are more questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A and we'll get you at the end. So just because you didn't get your question answered, if you have something else, just pop it in there and we'll make sure that we don't miss out on that. So I want to move on and I want to introduce Carrie Lipperini, who is our Director of the Office of Nutrition Health Promotion Programs, or ONHPP for short. She will be adding to today's program and providing us with a call to action for cooking up a community. Carrie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Catherine. And honestly, I'm not sure how to come after that, but Stacy, no need to apologize for your passion. Simply, it's that old song, it's my party and I'm going to cry if I want to, because this celebration is about you all, because we could not elevate this program without each and every one of you. Your work is what makes this program successful. So again, I just want to start by thanking each and every one of you for ensuring that the needs of the people that we serve are met, that they're receiving the best services possible. Again, I want to thank for the constant drive to be innovative in your services and for providing your ability to pivot at a moment's notice, which you've proven time and time again that this program can meet the needs of older adults in every circumstance possible. There's no better way to cook up communities in the senior nutrition program than by highlighting ways our programs can be diverse and meeting the people that we serve and where they are. We heard that very thing today from Stacy. And again, we commend the Kentucky River AAA for their continued hard work to meet the needs of those they serve in innovative ways by collaborating with their community. As we continue on this unknown path, we are faced with new challenges. We have shifts in participations, a new population that wants more flexible choices and models of delivery, a decrease in our volunteer base, staff shortages, and that's just to name a few. Many of these challenges have been going on for years and it hasn't gotten better. You may also witness adults in your community needing more resources. We have older adults who may not be coming to us, but that doesn't mean that they're not hungry or that they don't need our services. So, where are they? And thinking about ways to find them and new ways to engage them in our programs. The best way to tackle any obstacle is head on. And, will there be doubt? Absolutely there will be. Will there be fear? You bet. But the best way to overcome is to remind yourself all that you've overcome the last 3 years. It's resilience. The Senior Nutrition Program intent, again, is to reduce hunger, food insecurity, and malnutrition, while we promote socialization of older individuals and promote health and well-being. And again, it continues to be successful, no matter how many hurdles we have faced. So like you, ACL has a passion to not only serve our aging population and ensure that they receive the best, but to service a quality meal that tastes good and meets the needs by keeping folks nourished. We are here to ensure that you have someone to connect with, that they have a lifeline outside their home, and that they can connect with programs to meet the needs that they may have. And we all have the same focus and passion, and that's where the momentum needs to continue. Our work at ACL is based on your needs. So continue to keep us informed of your struggles, your questions. We want to be able to provide you training, knowledge, support that you need. We'll continue to work with our Nutrition and Aging Resource Center to bring you the latest in innovation, providing you timely technical assistance and addressing your concerns and questions. And while all continuing to highlight the flexibilities of the inherent Older Americans Act to make sure you can vision and your dreams are possible. As we close today, I want to leave you with a call for action. 2 steps to bring the Senior Nutrition Program into our, let's call it, post-pandemic era. The first one is to share your story. Anyone that has spent any time with me knows that I won't tell you to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. And I have spent much of my time prior to coming to ACL overseeing the local nutrition programs. And like many of you, I have cooked, I have cleaned, I have conducted activities, I've played tour guide, I have served, I've sat down with participants, I've ate with them. I was a resource not only to the program, but to the participants I served. And my focus was to keep them active and healthy. So I shared that in my daily meetings, any way possible. In fact, I still share. I'm often known for the one that reminds folks about the local needs and strengthening that, again, by building collaborations within your communities. So that's why you should share the work you do. Share why you serve the people you serve. Share why you volunteer to help others. Share why you show up each day and participate in these programs. Each of you has a story to share, and your story could reach someone who's looking for a career in aging, looking for a way to serve, looking for some way to help others, or just looking for ways to connect socially and nutritiously to a meal. So share with your community on social media, with local schools and universities, share with other community-based organizations. Just let everyone know how amazing these programs are and what a difference we are making in our communities. The second thing, we've heard it time and time again, collaboration, right, can lead to our second action. So continue to innovate your programs. Be creative in the senior nutrition programs. Look at new, modern ways to serve our participants. Again, this doesn't mean some out-of-the-box world innovation. You simply just need to look around at a need and come up with an idea to fill the need. With each idea, it will continue to grow until the need is filled. You do this every day. See needs, fill needs with the solution. So you must continue to find the needs in your community and then continue to evolve your programs. So we can ensure that we are reaching those that need and attract new volunteers and partnerships and participants every day. And every time I say this, I kind of cringe a little bit, but here we are, Generation X, 3 years from attending our local centers. So you need to ask yourself these hard questions. Do your programs reflect what they might want? And a question I used to always ask my staff, would you eat the lunch at your program? And if the answer is no to either of those questions, then that's maybe where you want to start to fill your need. Take advantage of the inherent flexibilities that are built into the Older Americans Act. Many of the innovative ideas that we've witnessed during the pandemic, yes, are still available. They were available prior to the pandemic, and we can continue to make them available after. The Older American Act, again, as mentioned with previous speakers, allows the states and local agencies to take guidance within the Older Americans Act and regulations and build on that to serve populations within the communities. And that may look different, as we've said, across the country, because we all know that we can't work within the same mindset. There's not one size fits all. I had 3 centers that were under my county, and each one had their own personalities and needs. Each one were different. So we've seen numerous service models, as mentioned, the cafe models, food trucks, right? We've seen the grab and goes. And, again, these are all successful in bringing in new participants. And each of these models has a way to reach different needs to those we serve. The Nutrition and Aging Resource Center has developed and will continue to provide education on ways to accomplish these service delivery models, advancing business acumen, and how to sustain funding. I also want to point out Recipes for Success, which will be another resource that's developed shortly, which will help you navigate efforts. There'll be informational tip videos designed to highlight steps to success and available resources to serve in a viewer-friendly, bite-sized format. And ACL is diligently working to show your impact by developing a research agenda to collect data that shows the significance of your program. So let's not forget about our innovations in nutrition grants as well, who are studying how new service delivery models can be successfully sustained. So let's take today's presentations and use it to celebrate by cooking up our own communities. Share your successes of your programs and cook up something that will continue to make a difference for those you serve. Cook up inspiration, cook up creativity, cook up partnerships, cook up joy, and of course, cook up good nutrition and health. ACL and the Nutrition and Aging Resource Center will be with you every step of the way. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie, for that call to action. Those are very important steps that each one of us can take to strive in this field. Before we go back to the question and answer section, I want to encourage all of our attendees, if you've not visited the celebration webpage, it's not too late. That link has been put into the chat. So just go to acl.gov /SMP/celebrate and see the numerous resources. That link has a lot of information. There's going to be some logos and themes that you'll be able to use, and they're going to be evergreen. So if you put it on a newsletter, if you put it on an education sheet, you don't have to worry about having to redo it again next year. There are videos and quotes that are approved to use. Their social media materials. We have, I want to also include the Nutrition Aging Resource Center. If you have not visited that recently, I encourage you to go, and that link will be put into the chat as well. They have a wealth of information, and if you are looking for something on the senior nutrition program, head there first because they have a lot of information. If you're looking at food insecurity, go to the food insecurity and malnutrition tab. There's a wealth of information in both of those sections. If you're looking for creativity and innovation, head to the congregate meals or the home delivered meal section because you'll find that creativity and innovation tab, and you can see that tab in both of those sections. So there is a lot of information. So we have a few minutes left for questions. So I'll invite Judy back up again, and we'll see if we have any new questions to add before we end the webinar.
Well, it does look like Stacy has a request to see a menu or two, a compliment on the pictures of the meals, that they look great, and would love a peek at the menus. Maybe we can share one on the website if you're willing.
I can do that. Yes, I can send Catherine some of the menus and we can share.
Yeah, we'll put that on as one of our resources. That'll be great.
Great. Wonderful. Catherine, one of the things that you mentioned is that we can celebrate all year long. Can you give any examples of kinds of events or recognition that we can celebrate all year long?
Well, some ideas that I've seen is just having some sort of event each month and having something new. And it could be a health fair one month. It could just be a theme day one day during the next month, or if there's a holiday, celebrating some sort of holiday that's coming up. But just constantly putting your information about the senior nutrition program out to the community, continuing to be that voice, not just for participants, but to the community organizations. If you don't remind them you're there, they'll forget. And try to think outside the box. Don't always just go to your mayor and your county officials. Go to your hospitals, go to your schools, talk to your health classes at school. Go and share that information with them. You might find some new volunteers. Head to your seniors that are getting ready to graduate high school. They need some community service information, stuff for scholarships. Get them in there for volunteers. Go to grocery stores and figure out a way that you can partner with them. You can head to the food banks. You can go to your soup kitchens or local community kitchens. There are numerous ways that you can continue to celebrate, and it may be just getting that information out. It don't have to be a big to-do. It could just be, hey, we're going to have some punch today, some cake and punch today to celebrate once again, and just reminding people that you're there. It don't have to be a huge event, but it just could be just continuing to keep that into the community.
Great, thank you. I think we've gotten to the end of our questions.
Okay. Thank you all so much for your questions. And I want to thank everyone who attended today to help us celebrate the Senior Nutrition Program. Now go and share your story. Feel the need and continue to cook up your community. And remember, there's always time to celebrate. So continue to highlight the Senior Nutrition Program each and every day. Have a great day.